Namaskar. Is the battle between Russia and Ukraine, or is it a battle between communism and democracy? This is the question that we should be all asking ourselves. As things are playing out now, you can see that Russia is trying to not just be the peacekeeping force in those two provinces called Donbass, but now they want to take over the entire Ukraine. This much is clear. They lied. They came in saying that we are going to maintain peace in those two regions, but now they're more or less taking over the whole country. And there are talks being planned at the border of Belarus and Ukraine. And this is just the first round. It is opening positions. That not much is going to come. And it's still possible that India might be brought in, or India might be asked to kind of mediate on this, although I'm not so sure about that. But be that as it may, we have to understand one little thing. There have been media reports in India saying that Ukraine voted against India here, Ukraine did this, Ukraine did that. I want to try and set some things straight here. The first one, for example, Ukraine condemns Indian nuclear tests in 1998. Well, for those of you who may not know this, so did Russia. Russia also condemned India's nuclear tests in 1998. In fact, practically the whole world, I don't know who abstained, condemned India for conducting the nuclear tests in 1998. And there were widespread sanctions imposed on India. It's a different matter that Vajpayee government overcame all that stuff and India became stronger. But to use that as an argument to say that Ukraine doesn't deserve our support, doesn't deserve our sympathy. I mean, I just want to put all the data out there so you understand what is going on. Ukraine became independent sort of in 1991. At that point of time, there was only one party, that was the CPU, the Communist Party of Ukraine. And then over a period of time, another opposition called RUKH, evolved, and then they started having democratically held elections. I think 1996 was the first time they went to elections. So essentially, Ukraine today is a democracy. It may be a flawed democracy, but it is a functioning democracy. There are people now who are getting elected, and people have full freedom to express their views. I'm going to share with you some of the scenes and how things are going to evolve, in my opinion. But first, I wanted to make everybody understand that I don't think it is a battle of land grab anymore, as much as it is the battle of mind grab, meaning like it is a battle between democracy and communism. Many may or may not know this, but there are protests happening in Moscow, in various cities inside Russia, where the Russian people are not supporting Vladimir Putin in this thrust to get more land. So why is that happening? People have to reflect. Russia started out under Yeltsin that we are going to be a democracy, but look at what Russia is today. It is back to its old, communism, maybe in a different name, but it's a dictatorship right now. Their opposition leader, Navalny, alleges that he was poisoned. He flew out from there. He came to Germany. He convalesced, became a little bit better. He has gone back to Russia and is now thrown in prison. So a lot of stuff happening in Russia where the voice of the people is getting suppressed. However, the demonstrations now show us that even the people of Russia are not very happy about what is happening. Even as we speak, the Ukrainian foreign minister made a very stirring speech where he claimed, I'm not going to say this right or wrong, he claimed that close to 4,400 Russian soldiers have been killed thus far, and from Ukraine side, about 200 soldiers and about 1,200 civilians have been killed. According to him, the big cities are still in Ukraine's control, and that it is going to be a fight to the finish. Most of Ukraine has decided that they shall send their children and women out of the country to Poland and other neighboring countries, while the men stay back to fight. Okay, this is what is happening right now. Of course, the talks are now being scheduled. We don't know what the opening positions are going to be and whether that will lead to some sort of a conclusion. Can we have the slideshow, please, again? Next one, please. Okay, so what Putin is trying to do is, that he occupied Crimea in 2014, claiming that all the people there voted in a referendum, which the nationalist Ukrainians didn't even vote in that referendum, claim that, so now Crimea is effectively a Russia's part of Russia. And you can see that there is a thrust from Crimea, from down below, from the south, going towards Kiev. What they're trying to do is they're trying to cut off, split Ukraine into two parts. Next slide, please. And I'm just going to show you some pictures of this town called Mykolaiv, which is a university town. It's a beautiful town where a lot of software companies work. And you can see that the Russian troops are trying to occupy it. And one tank damaged, and again from the same city. But here is the thing. Russia is trying to, in my opinion, trying to move up that line that I have drawn there, where they are trying to cut off from Odessa all the way up to Kiev. If you think of drawing a line, that is what Russia is trying to do. And they are trying to, when you do that, there are a lot of troops in the eastern part of Ukrainian troops trying to fight off Russia from the Donbass region. Now, those troops will be cut off if Russia can manage to connect those two lines, along those lines. If it splits into two, then the Ukrainian troops there will be encircled. So I don't know what is going to happen, how it's going to play out. However, there is a lot of fighting going on. Now, next thing, if you look at the religious composition of Ukraine, to the left of that line is mostly Catholic, and to the right of that line is mostly Russian Orthodox. So there is also a division that could be possible, that could be caused by Russia. So what is going to happen at the end? Probably either Donbass or more than that. And in best case, maybe along this line, Ukraine might be split into two parts, with the right side being under Russian control and the left side still being the original Ukraine. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope talks will take place, and I hope that India still has a way to try and help bring peace for these two warring countries. Prime Minister Narendra Modi enjoys more credibility in the world stage than Boris Johnson, and now Donald Trump is not there. Biden is not even a candidate for getting some credibility now. Shinzo Abe is no longer the Prime Minister of Japan. So it leaves only Narendra Modi as a voice that perhaps Russia might listen to and might be able to say, okay, well, we are going to, in the interests of human lives, that we are going to stop at this point and come back with some sort of a victory celebrations of some sort, which could be the Donbass region of two different states, Donetsk and the other one, I don't remember the name, but Donbass is the name of the region, eastern Ukraine. So we have to wait and see. Please do send in your comments. The last time I said that India has an opportunity, there are a lot of comments saying that India, US is not trustworthy. There is nothing about trust here. The point here that I was trying to make was it's a transactional thing. The West needs a place to build its high tech. If you look at the job opportunities today, India used to do a lot of transcription services. That industry has completely gone out of India. It has gone to Philippines. So India needs to go up the food chain. That is the standard parlance used. So has India done that? I don't know, because Ukraine was above India in terms of supplying critical software. For instance, if you look at Docker/Kubernetes, which is a platform that Google has developed for quickly developing apps for phones, smartphones, and so on and so forth. That is the fastest growing software segment today. Ukraine has a lot of talent that does that. Does India do it? I don't know. I haven't seen much. I'm sure there are some people working on it, and I'm happy to be proved wrong, but that is where India should be going. But more than that, India can also do over that and do more high-tech manufacturing and high-tech design. Like, for example, being able to work with Lockheed Martin, being able to work with some of the heavy engineering industries in Germany. But for all that, the Modi government came up with a plan last year, but I haven't seen much happening on the ground. They said that it's going to be a 15% flat tax for those companies who are going to invest in high-tech manufacturing in India, but I haven't seen that. However, those companies of the West will not come to India unless India says that you can repatriate profit. That's not a something that is not negotiable, and that's where India kind of says no, you shouldn't take back your profits. There is some socialistic thinking there. That's what needs to be rectified. In my opinion, the first 5 years they can allow it. After that, maybe they can have a sliding scale of some sort, because if India executes properly, big companies will leave their money inside India. They won't take it out. The taking out part only comes when you are not sure. For example, if a motley combination of opposition parties comes to power in India, who knows what's going to happen. But this is my hope, that from all these things, order will come out, and that if India plays its cards right, India might actually come out ahead. However, it also should be kept in mind that if there is a UN General Assembly to censor Russia, at that point, I don't think India can afford to abstain. It is just my opinion. I know I'm going to get flack for this. Again, people say it's easy for you to sit in US and say all these things. I have always said this thing, that if there are two eyes of mine, one eye is my Janma Bhumi, the other eye is my Karma Bhumi. I want both eyes to be good and well, and I want good for both these things. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.